I was happy to see it.
Okay. We're going to get to study that.
Yes, well, I had an exam today, so it was a tough weekend. But no,
Okay. You know what? We're going to open up the meeting. Meeting start at 6:15 p.m. The 610th meeting of the Board of Trustees will come to order. Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Trustee Parrish, would you be kind enough to call the roll?
Yes, sir. Dr. Gordon. John DeGrace.
Present.
George Gordon.
Present.
Linda Green.
Present.
Wanda Jackson. Absent. Edward Powers. Present. Donna Toomer. Absent. Kathy Weiss.
Present.
Grace Russell.
Present.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. I request a motion that the board go into executive session pursuant to section 105 of the Open Meetings Law for the state of New York for the following purposes: to discuss matters related to negotiations involving the Nassau Community College Administrators Association, and 2, the review of medical, financial, credit, or employment history for a particular person, corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any abstentions? Okay. We will adjourn. We should be back approximately at 7 p.m. today. Should be a little bit earlier. And by the paucity of folks in the audience, I think we're going to have an early meeting tonight.
We hope.
Meeting is going to resume at 7:10 p.m. Trustee Harris, would you be kind enough to call the roll?
Yes, Dr. Brown. Yes, Dr. Gordon. John DeGrace.
Present.
George Gordon.
Present.
Linda Green.
Here.
Wanda Jackson. Absent. Ed Powers. Here. Donna Toomer. Absent. Kathy Weiss.
Present.
Grace Russell.
Present.
We have a quorum, sir.
All right. So do I have a motion to approve the September 12, 2017 minutes, please?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Russell. Any questions? And all in favor?
Aye.
Are we missing something?
Yeah, well, because we have 5, because Mr. Powers
Yeah,
was absent
yeah.
yesterday.
So that's going to have to table.
Sorry, I should have told you you can't do it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, that's right, he was not.
He was absent.
Okay, so we'll go to the 2018-2002 strategic plan. Trustee Weiss, would you tell me?
My pleasure. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of Nassau Community College adopts the 2018 to 2021 NCC strategic plan developed by the Institutional Planning Committee and subsequently reviewed by the NCC campus community, with open forums being held on September 15th and 18th of 2017.
So do I have a motion to consider this item?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries 6-0. All right, I'm going to make an additional item that is not on the calendar under Article 8, Section C6 of the Board's Rules of Procedure to allow for the consideration of 2 items that did not appear on the calendar.
I second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Okay. Trustee DeGrace, could you be kind? Item 2?
I don't believe that.
You can just go to the resolve. It's on page 3.
Okay, thank you.
When did this be resolved?
Okay,
We just had this in committee.
whereas a substantial number of students from...
Mr. DeGrace, why don't you skip to resolve?
Oh,
Because
resolve.
you're going to have to read a whole page.
Okay. Resolved, that Nassau Community College Board of Trustees authorizes NCC administration to amend residency requirements for tuition purposes to make students from Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands who have been displaced by Hurricanes Maria and Irma eligible for Nassau County resident tuition rates for the 2017-18 academic year at Nassau Community College.
Do I have a motion to consider this item?
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries 6-0. I think this is an important outreach that we need to do for our kids in the Caribbean. Nassau Community College is home to many Puerto Rican families. New York State, Florida are going to be hoping get a lot of inroads of folks. And we at the college extend our hand to them and will help them in everything that we can do here with the great faculty that we have. Thank you. Okay. Settlement agreement. Trustee Green, would you be kind enough?
Be resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the President of the College to execute a settlement agreement and mutual general release regarding the employment of a certain employee on behalf of Nassau Community College. Be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees accepts the irrevocable letter of retirement of the employee who is the subject of said agreement, subject to receipt by council to the college of a letter of retirement.
Do I have a motion to consider this item?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries 6-0. Go for a report from the President.
Needless to say, we are reminded dramatically of the emergency situations that arise, the horrendous shootings in public places and so forth. Periodically, we're reminded. And we have held a number, we have extended our attention to this issue, and we want to take some steps to assure the campus that we've done all that we possibly can to assure safety. We also want to take some additional actions. We do have a campus safety committee that is a requirement of the State University of New York. And we also have a committee of campus services, which is now constituted as an advisory committee to Vice President Muscarella. It's comprised of faculty and administrators, and this group is also concerned with campus safety and emergency preparedness. So we intend to hold a training session for administrators in addition to the ones that we already do. There are training sessions on active shooter and in other ways. Our public safety department regularly conducts its training in various areas of their duties. So we have, with respect to administrative positions on the college, we've held a number of positions vacant or in an acting status during the past few months, and we plan to proceed to initiating searches for some of these most critical positions. We've been developing a set of guidelines for administrative searches, and we will review these with campus leadership during the next 2 weeks, and we're hoping that we'll be able to initiate some of these searches pretty quickly as we go toward the end of the fall term. The movement from the North Annex and also from North Hall for the renovations of that building as we began the fall term created some logistical problems for us, and we have now begun to develop the spring course offerings, and registration will begin for those students within a few days. And we've got a number of senior administrators working now on the issues of making sure that we are able to offer all of the classes we need to offer in the classrooms that are prepared to be to host those students and faculty in the classrooms. We think and we hope that the transition into the spring term will go more smoothly than it did in the fall. We've had a number of discussions about this, including today with the Academic Senate Executive Committee, and Chair Anissa Moore was in that meeting this morning, and so and also NCCFT has brought this to our attention, as well as the chairs group, the academic department chairs group. So we're working on this. We have all of the space we need to accommodate classes, but it's a large logistical problem. We have a computerized program that programs in the classroom spaces and classrooms, and can schedule the classes in those up to the limits of the classroom. But there will always be a little bit of error in this process because of sometimes, for good reasons, over-enrolling by a student or two. And when that happens, sometimes we had filled every seat and it created a little bit of a problem there. So we're working on that. The Academic Student Services area is holding a Dreamers Conference in a couple of weeks. I forgot that. I don't have the date for that.
October 20th.
20th.
August 20th.
October.
October 20th, okay. And the early count for the number of high schools participating was 10, but we anticipate there'll be quite a few more than that. David, any more so far?
Over 200, we expect over 200 students.
Okay, yeah. So it's a great opportunity to present the college to these visiting students and to use it as a recruitment event. So we're pleased that you're holding that event. We had a kind of a interesting and gratifying visit last week from the Middle States team. So many people over the last year and more than a year have contributed to this, and we're in the process of formulating letters of thanks and to get these out. There's no way to determine the extent of the number of people that we should personally thank, but we'll do that for a large number of individuals as well as groups of individuals, and we'll get that out. We should have received today or tomorrow the date by which the draft was supposed to come back to us for correction of factual errors from the visiting team. Was today, so we should receive it and we'll get it back to them within 3 days. We're committed to get it back within 3 days. And then the commission meets on November the 16th. Earlier they would meet the first week of December, but this year, and maybe it's routine now, that they're meeting earlier. So we should learn with the commission's meeting on the 16th of November what their decision is with respect to our fulfilling the accreditation standards. And one thing that I say in just about every public statement and in groups is that it's necessary to continuously emphasize that the great amount of work that went into this planning process, not just to justify the fulfillment of the accrediting standards, but went into this process because we were putting in place plans, blueprints for the future of the college, and we have to follow through with that because we still have a lot of work to do. So we are persistent on that every day. We'll be looking at those plans, making sure that we as administrators and leaders of the campus are following up on those plans. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to the speakers list, and we'll go to the president of the AFA, Steph Brown.
Whoops.
The mic's coming right now.
Half mic will travel. Actually, we're a small, intimate group. Actually, everybody should just sit up here. We can tell we're getting to be bored.
Corn is good.
I wanted to make
He's playing with
Okay.
babies.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that the board knows that we've been working with NISR and the Academic Senate. We're developing a structure and a process so that Chancellor's Awards for excellence in adjunct teaching will be made available not this go around, but for the following year. And when I announced that at our general meeting on Saturday, we got a major round of applause. My second thing I want to talk about, just real quickly, last Wednesday, I believe it was, there was a meeting of leaders, campus leaders, with the with two members of the visiting team. It seemed to me that their purpose was to verify, particularly in terms of the notion of improved collegiality on campus, to verify that what was being said in our written report was in fact happening on campus. Just to be in that room and see the love and the caring and the collegiality amongst all the leaders there just made me feel so good. And there were a couple of times when I believe there were tears in the eyes of the visiting team because they understood what transpired on this campus over the last year, year and a half.
John Budnick. President of the NCCFT, Frank Facenda.
It's hard to believe what this room and this place was like just over a year ago. Okay? I mean, how this place was filled, the frustration that everyone felt, the anger, the dysfunction, and compare it to where we are today. I mean, I think this is proof that given the opportunity that there's a lot of talent on this campus, a lot of talent with the faculty, with the full-time faculty, the adjunct faculty, the administration, CSEA. It's all over the place. And you know, Dr. Gard, you had said to me on several occasions how when you first came here, you relished the idea of working with a bunch of college professors, okay? That didn't turn out the way you thought it was going to turn out, all right? But,
just had to wait a little bit longer.
just had to wait, all right? But now you see, okay, what it's like working, all right, with a bunch of college professors, okay? Because, you know, we are working together. I feel vindicated from the Middle States report so far. What we've done was the right thing to do. And it just is so good to stand up here and say Nassau Community College is open for business. So.
I just want to comment that the transformative process that has occurred on this college over the last year, great measure to the leadership from the president of our college that we have, the leadership from the NCCFT, the AFA, the Academic Senate, all the leaders on campus, the faculty, and the teachers in the classroom. That's the one thing that never changed. And I told everybody over the years, our ups, our downs, everything that was on, the one thing I always said was, in the classroom, the teaching that went on day to day was the best, and it never changed, regardless of what was going on. What we did day to day is the best that we always do. We've now put together some living documents that we need to work together and operationalize. And as with anything, there'll be little bumps along the way, but I think now we understand how to work together and in that collegial fashion. And like I said, we're not always going to agree on everything, but we're going to respectfully disagree and work together for the common good. And like today, one of the biggest things I think is our outreach to those who are displaced, not just displaced academically, they're displaced from life. They're displaced from the normal activities of living, of getting water, sanitation, food, medication. I know that the college was involved in doing a support services and for airlifts that went down to Puerto Rico. All right. When we take a look around people, we have to realize that there's a lot of things going on in the world, and we have to be grateful for what we have, and we have to make a little bit of a microcosm of normalcy here to try to educate and put together the future leaders that are going to help guide us forward. And we do that well. We do that very well. We provide, and I'll say we, you the faculty provide inspiration, because the average student doesn't really care what's happening up in the boardroom with the administration. They're caring about their grades, are they going to get a job when they get out, how are they paying for school, how they're paying for their loans. That's what the average student cares about. And our job is to make that process for them as seamless as possible, so that we make that decision-making as easy as it can be. Because we're going to decide on other things, but when you look down in the trenches, it's that person who is either working full-time or coming here at nighttime, or working or full-time students, or in between. We offer a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and we do it well. And the Middle States report that came through from this team, I'll be the first one to tell you, I sat there like an idiot and I cried. I had tears in my eyes because of the joy that I had at seeing, excuse me, at seeing what this college had done. So I just want to say thank you to all of you for all the work that you've done, to the members of the board who have worked diligently in going forward, the administration and the leadership who have all come together to show what Nassau Community College is, which is it's the jewel of Nassau County and the support services that we provide for all our students. Thank you. So the next Finance Capital Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 14th, 2017 at 5 p.m. followed by the full board meeting. The board will open the public session between 6:15 and 6:30 and resume the public session at approximately 7:30. I request a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries. Meeting over at 7:30.
I raised it.